I shot a music video in Auschwitz.
What?
Yeah.
I love anything phallic. Hot dogs, pickles, penises.
Yep. I once performed at a funeral. People realize that if you say things about Jews,
It's wearing something that gets you attention.
ugly on the outside forever, mazel tov, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the studio with us, one of the most talented human beings, rose up from the bowels of New York City. We're from New York?
Yeah, Jersey. But
Jersey.
I came
We're in
to New York
Jersey,
rap
sorry.
scene. Edison.
Oh my God, hell yeah. I'm from Jersey, but
Let's go.
a rapper, a comedian, an artist, a Jew,
Yeah.
a good Jew.
Baruch Hashem.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ma nishma.
Kosha Dillz.
Hey, what's
There it is.
up? All right, we're here at the pod.
What's with the Dills? Like, I have a dill pickle tattoo.
Okay. My boy
Do you love
was-
pickles?
No. My boy was named Yak Balls. He was one of the first kind of dope rappers from Cage, Eastern like this Bobito era.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm Kosha Dill, and then I was like, it just became Kosha Dillz. It was like the Dill. It was a sexual reference. Like I picked a name when I was 17.
It's great. We were just talking about like screen names became
Rap names, stage
LLCs, like literally like brands,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
went
yeah.
from being like Brown Eyes Girl to like, oh my God, that girl's famous.
So I took it, and then pickles became popular probably after like Pickle Rick, like pop culture. So when I went on Warped Tour in like 2015, we like branded it all like green, white, and then I made like pickle merch and pickle socks and pickle this, and people were like, "Oh, I want a pickle guy." Like the kids were like
Yeah.
really into it, and then I started I started selling pickles at the merch table, like buying jars and just selling.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Pickles
Fire
are
angle. That's a good angle.
well,
I
pickles
mean,
are
people
big
like
Jewish.
pickles, and also people started liking pickles more and more because like every viral video, if you're like pickled ice cream, pickle this, it just goes viral. Like everyone just likes pickle stuff. It's just fun.
Yeah, pickles are good. I'm not gonna lie. He loves pickles.
I love pickles. I love anything phallic. Hot dogs, pickles, penises.
Yep, I know.
Now the penises stay away from, but I'll give all of them to you.
Do you have tattoos?
None.
So you're a good Jew, real good Jew.
I'm just a Jew. I don't say I'm good or bad. I mean, I have my bad times and good times, but I don't want to get it. I don't want to write anything on my body because then I feel I have to write more, and it'll be like an insatiable quest to just sort of
To just
filling
cover
up.
yourself?
yeah, and be like this, that. But I enjoy the hair on my arms. I wouldn't want to have to shave the hair.
I'll tell you what, you are rare. To see someone without tattoos is almost shocking these days sometimes.
You have a lot of tattoos.
I have but all mine are dumb. Once again, they're not they're meaningful in a silly way. They're not meaningful like, oh my God, this is
being
like my
silly
dumb.
has meaning though.
There's no art to it. It's just slap that on. That's silly. I have an Outback Steakhouse tattoo, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would
It's-
respect you if you had the blooming onions.
Well, you know, the
the best.
bloomin' onion is delicious, but it looks like there's a few brands that do the onion. But when you have the logo and you walk into an Outback, they kind of treat you better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you free shit. So I need. I
And then
still
when you
use
got
it.
the Outback, were you like, I need to get Red Lobster?
No, I didn't like Red Lobster. I always loved Outback. To me, growing up in Jersey, Outback was the best
Yeah.
steakhouse. You know, when in suburbia, you're like, we're going to Outback tonight.
Outback is legendary,
Yeah,
dude.
it's the
Yeah.
best.
Yes.
It's
there's-
disgusting.
You guys
though,
are
if
such
you've had it
suburban
lately.
kids. It's nuts, honestly. You guys are more villagers than me, and I'm from Ukraine. It's insane.
Well, America's like mostly a village.
I mean,
We're mostly village people. Outside a few cities, like you go out in there and you're like, oh, they're pooping in holes here too.
yeah.
Can't believe you got an Outback Steakhouse tattoo. It's bananas.
If you had to get one tattoo,
I would definitely do like something Jewish,
you know what the craziest tattoo moment in the history of my life that I
like a
witnessed?
chai or like some Magen David with like
Funny?
No, it would be like
Serious?
meaningful. Like it would probably be an image of. I shot a music video in Auschwitz.
What?
Yeah,
That's wild.
I did
How
a
does
movie
that-
in Auschwitz. I haven't released it yet, but I should probably.
Do you need
release it.
permission to shoot at Auschwitz, or this was
Yeah.
guerrilla?
Yeah, we did guerrilla. We were part of this thing called Ride for the Living. You know March for the Living?
Yep.
You seen it? So Ride for Livings with the JCC at Krakow. The guy who runs the JCC Krakow is this dude Jonathan Ornstein. He's like a New York Jew that like moved out to Poland to revive Jewish life within Poland. And people are finding out that they're Jewish like all the time because their parents hid it. So they do something called Ride for the Living where they have Holocaust survivors ride bikes from Auschwitz to Krakow. It's like 100 kilometers. And so we did
There's
a
like
film.
7 left. Holocaust,
No,
or
it's
like
like
descendants of
250
survivors?
It's
No,
or actual survivors.
It's like 60
Yeah.
miles.
On bicycles?
Yeah, with the tandem bikes.
Oh my God,
and,
I can
you know.
barely walk and I'm
But it's a
40.
completely flat thing.
Okay.
It's like an easier ride.
Got it. It's not like the hills
No,
of-
it's not the hills. So San Francisco or something like that.
Right.
So like when I went, my boy Ed, he's just a really great filmmaker, and we did like an improv film, short film, and then I shot a music video there. So one year I went to Poland for the first time, and then I went like 3 times that year, and then I started going back a lot. So every time I would go, and then we were just shooting all the time.
I'm a big fan of pushing boundaries, and I would have a hard time figuring out how to film something in Auschwitz. Like I talk a lot of shit, but I am all about respect in some regards, right? I know there's history. This is sacred. This means something to so many people that I would have a hard time finding a way to shoot something at Auschwitz without being like, oh my God, I've made something so horribly offensive.
The movie is based on a real life experience. But first off, before we jump in there, the tattoo, there was like an image and a thing where I had this Jewish star, and it's like had little stars in it. So it's like one big star with, in the 6 points, there's 6 other little stars, and then it was over the barbed wire. So maybe I would get like, remember the OG barbed wire tattoo?
Yeah, that's hard.
That would be my tattoo.
That would be tough.
I've never actually answered that.
That's like a Jewish tramp stamp.
Yeah.
And ironically, like that barbed wire actually has more meaning.
Wire, but the barbed wire tattoo is like, if you go back to the 90s, that was like the original arm tattoo. Remember how people would get the barbed wire?
Yeah, I think Pamela Anderson, someone had it. When people clown you, if someone clowned me for a barbed wire tattoo, if I had it from the 90s, I'd be like, that is the barbed wire from the Holocaust. That is not just regular barbed wire.
You said Pam Anderson, and I immediately thought of Jenna Jameson, because she converted to Judaism. Did you know that? Jenna Jameson was also a celebrity.
It's easy for women to convert to Judaism. They don't have to like give up any skin.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess. I don't mean.
Like if you became a Jew, would we demand him cutting some skin off?
No,
I think.
I don't think so.
I think you got to get circumcised.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, there's plenty of people that get circumcised as adults.
Yeah, but they're not gonna go check. Ain't no rabbis coming there be like, yo, let me see that real quick just in case.
They have to kiss your pee-pee at the end.
They'll never check. If you convert on paper and everybody you give the rabbi a little stash.
That's a
You
great
give some money.
Be like, yo, my brother, go get yourself a nice Hermes belt. Like, here you go.
It's a great question. I mean, but people would do it.
Yeah, like Jenna Jameson just woke up and was like, I'm a Jew this morning.
No,
right?
I mean, she
went
went
study?
through you have to. You gotta. They're not trying to like.
Did you have a bar mitzvah?
Yeah, I had a bar mitzvah in Israel.
Wait, why was it in Israel?
Oh, my whole family's Israeli. Yeah,
so you
yeah,
flew home?
Yeah, my
to the
family's in a
motherland?
little town called Tivon. It's like 20 minutes from a place called Haifa. It's pretty cool. Little like green town, sort of like Burlington meets like Boulder. Very green, very peaceful, a lot of quiet. And but before we get onto the Israel shit, I want to tell you about the Holocaust film.
Yes.
Please
tell me everything.
It made like a dark comedy, and it's like
That's ballsy.
And did you see the movie? The one with Jesse Eisenberg that he just won. And they basically he goes with his old friend and Kieran Culkin. What's the movie?
I know what you're talking about. I didn't see it.
Do you know the film? He wins an award. It's basically similar. I go meet my friend. We had a layover in Amsterdam. We go to the Anne Frank house. And I'm like, it's going to be like a college trip. I'm like the douchey birthright kid. And he like figures out he's 10% Jewish. So he's extremely serious. He's also black. But like, I'm complaining that there's a line to the Anne Frank house. I'm like that guy. I'm swiping.
Very Larry David.
On J-Swipe in like Birkenau. And he's like, bro.
Those are touchy subjects.
Yeah. Like there's some like, I fall in love with a Ukrainian girl who's a Ukrainian Jew, like riding this. We're riding bikes.
She was riding
Poland.
Imagine.
And it's just like, I never did a film, and I always wanted to do a film. And when I went to Auschwitz multiple times, I went with my mom. The first trip I did it with my mother and my great aunt. At the end of the trip, we weren't on like a group Jewish trip. You could go to Auschwitz and there's like tons of tourists because it's a UNESCO site. So you have
Such
tons
a
of
wild
people
concept.
do UNESCO, like there's salt caves, right? And people go, like lots of Asian communities come out from all over. There were Hell's Angels one of the first times I went, from Montreal. And people just go, and they're not on these birthright trips and stuff like that. So they're there, and we went, and there was a guy from Sweden and Norway, and they were just taking selfies everywhere. It was like 2015, so selfies were just becoming a thing. And a guy needed to go to the bathroom, and in Birkenau, it's really big, and there's no place to go to the bathroom. It's either front or it's like, almost a mile long.
Okay.
He just peed in the middle of Auschwitz. And so a big part of our film is going to like I'm like looking for the bathroom, a big like I'm complaining and very nebbishy and like
being a Jew.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too
But
hot.
the thing is, you're like we live in a world where there's no way you could cry enough tears for like atrocities. Like
Right.
you know, you can't feel bad enough. Oh,
Right.
like
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
oh my God, you're like, or else we would just not do anything. We would be paralyzed, which is like the point of like terrorism and like horror like that. It's like
Right. Shocking.
we want you to just feel so bad that you'll never do anything. In fact, you'll just never go. Like you know, what I mean, I'm just not for me. And so my father goes, well, my dad's so funny. At least he paid to get in. He paid to get in. He had to go to the bathroom.
I mean, what are you supposed to do?
So you're taking selfies next to the gas chambers, but he posted it on Facebook, so people that will never go to Auschwitz see him that he went.
Humans will never understand unless it happens to them. It's just unfortunately how things are.
Bobby Yar, there's 30,000 Jews buried there in Ukraine, and Russia bombed it. And people like, oh, you know, I was in Poland, somewhere else, and like I went, and there were people riding bikes, and there was like 10,000 Jews buried there in a mass grave, and people just riding their bikes over, like doing it normal days. So it's like there's places like that everywhere, is what I'm saying. People need to watch that because they're not going to watch a movie that's like,
Somebody passed away in the room I sleep in now. What am I supposed to do? Think about him?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
that's-
Like I gotta sleep there.
right.
What am I
And
supposed
so,
to do?
and we just keep on going. The dinosaurs,
gotta
everything
keep it moving,
before
baby.
us,
Yeah.
everything's dies.
Remember it, you know, and you try to mourn sometimes, but you got to keep sleeping, baby. I got to wake up in the morning. I got to work. You know?
Like cemeteries are a weird concept to me. Like I'm of the George Carlin era of like when he talks about, he's like, why do we have cemeteries? Like saving all the dead people for one part of town. He's like, we have no, like why? What is this? On my block where I live, there's a little Jewish cemetery that's taking up prime real estate, and I'm like, who are these Jews that are not taking advantage of this land properly? To just, and I'm like, they must have so much money
No, but they're
that they're
literally
just
in
keeping
real estate
that.
still after that. They're dying.
Yeah, they're still holding it down.
They're still
But,
holding a big
like,
property.
cemeteries-
They're still holding property down when they're dead, dude.
Dude,
And that's how we get down. That's how we get down to business. That's why you can't hate on the play. Hate the
No.
game, baby. You know what I mean?
I actually sold cemetery plots door to door. That was one of my like last jobs.
Yo, that's fire.
That's crazy. Is it hard to sell a plot or no? Or are people like, yeah, I get it.
What
Makes
people
sense.
don't understand is that like you selling plots door to door, people buy the plot.
It's like nightlife. You sell in
Now
sections.
You
How
buy
many
the-
plots can you flip the same one and just stack them and
You
not tell
have to.
them?
You have to.
Is it a meme coin?
No, it's
You're just selling the new crypto scam is selling.
Fucking selling
Listen,
NFTs?
There's a couple things you have to buy, right? And if you die tomorrow, he buries you, he's gonna pay a lot more than if he started paying monthly fees to pay off for your plot. But what happens to the plot? You need to get a coffin. You need to get a tombstone.
Yeah.
You need to pay for the opening and close. This is the biggest hustle. The opening and closing. So you got to dig the hole, and you got to put the dirt back on.
Damn.
That costs money too.
So the funeral business is the best business to be in. Great to own a cemetery because you're
Crazy,
like
it's
you're
more expensive
guaranteed
to die. You
customer,
better stay
guaranteed
alive,
life.
know,
idiot.
I
I'm
know.
not gonna
Guaranteed.
fucking pay this much money for you, bro.
No, just
That's
torch
why
me.
it's great that Jews we don't get buried all like extravagantly, like I don't, it's like pine box.
Not
We
like a
don't get-
Russian mobster.
No.
They literally parked their Mercedes that they had from.
No, I want to be cremated. I want to be.
Bury me in my Mercedes.
I'm getting cremated. I want no
You're not
physical.
supposed to. No, well, that's the thing. The Jews return to the earth in their burial.
You're gonna make
It's
him
like
leave the
very
Yeah, but I
podcast right
return
now.
to
You're
the
an
air.
He's gonna leave it. No, I'm just.
He's
saying.
gonna leave the podcast. You tell him
No.
some stupid shit like that.
I once performed at a funeral.
What?
Yeah, that was one of my.
Tell us about this. I need to know.
Did you just do it like on the low, like
Was
the
it
volume
hard?
was lower?
Were people crying?
Yeah, and then I sort of
That's so
cried, but
weird.
I don't know if I cried on purpose. I don't know if I was sad, but it was just like emotional. Like I.
It's like when
I
people are
cried
doing
out of
Molly, you
respect-
feel
I
high.
I cried out of respect.
Did you perform like a happy song?
Nah, I freestyled.
Really?
All right, so this is the story, right? So I'm living in LA. It was like 2016, 2017. Rest in peace to Nadine. She got cremated. She wasn't Jewish, but she was Canadian. And someone was like, yo, you got to get, I'm looking for a publicist. Kosha, who was your publicist? I was like, I had a publicist, but it wasn't really good. She wasn't good. In fact, I didn't like her at all. So then I looked up online and I found out. I didn't talk to her for a while. Then she just died from cancer. And I'm like, that was so fucked up of me. So, of course.
There's a showcase. Her funeral. You're like, yo, let me rap for these industries.
Yo.
Such a good
It's not.
That's insane.
It's the story gets so she and she was a good woman, but basically she was the better publicist, but she gave me to one of the junior publicists. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm like, ugh, you know when the people give you like, hey, meet Bueller, and then they give you, the next
Mueller.
one. Mueller, yeah. You're like, come on, I didn't sign up for that.
It's like going from Ari Gold to fucking Lloyd.
Yes, exactly.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, and they didn't even give me Lloyd.
You're on the team, though.
They gave me like James
Floyd.
and you're like, yeah, Floyd. It was in Malibu, also R.I.P. It was, there's a spread, there's everything, and a lot of industry people that knew her from like OG. She was like OG Vice, and people were saying things on her behalf. And I think she was like one of the original people like within Vice, because it was like I think at one of the guys' houses that was a president or something. And my friend Allison Shaw, shout out to her. She's like, Rami, say something, do something, because she was you worked with her like recently, And so I was like, man, this is so weird, and I love it. I'm like, I love, I performed at bar mitzvahs, and but the funeral was amazing. Like, I've done like.
Do you go like drop a beat?
Weddings.
Is there?
No, I did acapella. So I
Or
was
you just bang on the casket?
No, because
Oh, she's cremated. Yeah, just bang on the
fairy dust. No, so
would have respected her, but they burned her.
Nadine was a great woman, and to all of us, she was beautiful. And as her client, I promised her I won't promote myself at your funeral. And everyone fell the fuck out, and then people laughed.
So that's important. You broke the ice.
So I broke the ice, yeah.
That's
and
fire.
I ended up getting an article in Billboard about. I did something called Mozzarella, but one of the guys at the funeral got me a gig. So shout out to Nadine for.
In her death, she still gave you PR.
Yeah.
She's
that's
up
a
there, she's
good.
like fucking motherfucker, fucking
Yeah,
quote a layup.
Yeah,
I passed them off.
She's like, I didn't even invoice him for and so that was pretty amazing. And then I was like, wow, that was.
Is that one of your favorite freestyles?
Yeah, I think like.
What are your top 3 that you've performed?
That's a great question. Wow, Val with a great question. So one, we gotta give it to Nadine Jelanel's funeral. That was one. In the Rainstorm outside MSG with Fat Joe.
Tough.
Sick.
Tough.
Dressed as Moses, rapping with Takeoff from the Migos, R.I.P.
Tough.
Wow.
Where's this?
Also outside MSG.
Tough.
Yeah.
Is freestyling like we all talk, right? We all can form sentences and we can just like bullshit with each other, but that's such a terrifyingly cool skill to have. Like, because like I can pen words, right? Like if I sit down in my room, I smoke a joint, I can write a poem and be like, oh, okay, this is good, but
throw it on the Patreon.
It's just right. It's like magic tricks. It's fire.
It's kind of like
a fire thing to have.
Like, but to be able to off of just from here to just plan the rhyme or catch, like be few. I don't even know how it works.
Can you do a small freestyle about you hustling plots of land for the graveyard? Like a small little like. Ooh, ooh.
Oh yeah, I could do something like that.
You could throw some shit up real quick.
Yeah, I could just do, like.
Hit us with a little like 2 bars, 3 bars.
Yeah, are you guys gonna give me a beat like on the table? Boom. You join them in.
I have no rhythm.
There you go. I stay hard. People said I got great bars. Door to door when I'm trying to make the graveyard. Pop off when I gotta go see him. If you ain't underground, I use the mausoleum. I used to take Tylenol PMs. I was selling weed out the cemetery with friends. People said, hey, Dillz, yo, you look quick. I didn't know you sell there out in Woodbridge. Nowadays, I sell things in Bushwick. Usually, I'm focused. They bury me like Kosha Dillz. Oh shit, sometimes outside cats with Moses. I rapped at a funeral for my publicist, beautiful. She's like, hey, what I do?
Like that. Yeah. That was fire. That was fire. You're a beast. That's dope. That was
a
dope.
great beat.
That is such a.
That was a great beat.
Thank you. I held it down.
I listen to you because I'm like, fuck. I can't fuck the momentum up of the.
I'm like him asking you to freestyle gave me swamp ass because I'm like oh my god, like what if this is bad? Like I feel so the pressure, and then
freestyling is like free therapy. So it's like all this stuff I try to relate everything to this X-Men character Colossus in the original video game. Do you ever play that game?
No.
Wasn't allowed.
So you he gives him like his special powers. He goes, and he like and everyone would be like shattered around him. And it's like we'll like use meme it. You could find it on the internet. And basically you have all this stuff, and you're like, oh man, I have to perform right now, and you have to deliver. And then if you do deliver, it's awesome. And if
But you see
don't-
that raw talent is so fire because, dude, you know why? It's also
like sugar in the
it's
raw,
also
the brown pack.
underappreciated. It's also underappreciated in the times that we live because everything is so fabricated and everything is so like easily manipulated in a sense of technology. The fact that you can just still drop that on the dime, like, bro, it's insane.
I'll go
insane.
forever.
I used to respect, like, growing up, that was like I was like wowed by that. Nowadays, it's like I go on an app right now, I can have somebody fucking come up with a freestyle for me in seconds, or ChatGPT, or this and that and third, and that annoys me. I'm like,
The guy
what?
Harry Mack is pretty much the best.
He's a beast.
He's the one who's sort of like taken it to another level. And I've definitely figured out how to monetize it and utilize it. But my stuff is so raw. I think if I refine, you got to refine the sugar, right?
You're
And
also more
refine
political, right? You're more.
Well, yeah, a lot of
you're an
very-
activist as well, right? Like
I would
there's
say like an accidental activist.
right,
more.
but he's just more like
he's
just
more like playing with words.
yeah,
He's
it's more
like
pop.
appreciative.
It's pop
culture.
It's
yeah.
It's less. He's not drawing lines in his audience, right?
Yeah.
And you evoke an emotion. He
Yeah.
evokes a happy emotion, like, whoa, that's cool that happened, cool thing. But like your
Cool that
lyrics,
happened, yeah.
right? But you. There's
Yeah.
more weight to your words.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I don't want to steal this conversation in a weird direction for 2 seconds, but you banging that beat. Did you know? I found this out yesterday. Did you guys hear? Do you know what the Netflix intro noise is? You know, Kevin Spacey's canceled, but it's him pounding his fist in House of Cards became the Netflix noise. Did you know this?
No.
Oh,
That's where the noise came from, is him just being.
I wonder if he got a racks for that.
He's still. I mean, Kevin Spacey's fine.
Kevin Spacey's fine.
I love that he came out though recently, like trying to defend himself for being like mean on set to some guy, right? Whatever the conversation
tried to
was, we were like,
explain-
bro,
he tried to explain where his
you have
mind
way
was.
other things to explain.
wanna
Not,
be-
yeah, you might want to explain some
Yeah,
of the
I'd like
other
to
weird, creepy
explain-
shit from back in the day.
Yeah, but that's what we're not talking about. We're talking about the guy I was mean to. It's so weird. Yeah, he's like, let me address this first so
Yeah.
I gain your respect.
Like,
and then I talk about my sexual allegations, which is less important.
I mean, he used the get out of jail free card by just yelling that he's gay, right? He's like, oh, I'm now gonna hide behind this group.
oh,
Right,
because he went with men.
He did it with men, and he was like touching like 17 like young guys, right? I'm probably misspeaking a lot of this shit, but
You're a young guy.
he kind of got, he's out of mainstream, but he got away with it by just being like, oh, I'm just a gay man, and this was like my cross to bear at the time, and you're like, damn, it sucks.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna comment on that,
Yeah, I got nothing for that one.
Yeah. I'm really.
It sucks because I do
Have
love
you-
Kevin Spacey.
Have you? Yeah, it's unfortunate. He's a good actor, but Baby Driver was a good movie too. But have you wrote
Usual
any?
Suspect.
Have you wrote anything for like a little Kanye diss?
Yeah.
You got
I mean,
a
my
little
biggest
couple-
song was Death Con 3. I mean, I did that in 2022, and I just released a new song called Time for a Conversation 2. So Death Con 3 was like my first big one. We went to I got Tick and Tack, like from the Jay-Z videos, helicopter, and we went out, filmed it with the Red. We went outside of Crown Heights. Yes?
Who's funding all this?
Me.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay. No, continue. I'm just trying to figure out if
And
you're
the
like,
state of
this
Israel.
seems expensive.
This guy's a fucking accountant over here.
No, just like you're like, oh, we got these people coming. I'm like, this
Is anybody
so
selling
dope.
you? Ask him the rest.
It's so funny.
Did you? We ask
People
all our
like,
guests to
who
bring
funded?
their tax returns.
Oh, yeah.
It's
we should
February.
do.
We're right before March, so he's getting excited.
My tax guy is a Asian dude.
Ecuadorian?
Yeah, similar to what Nadine did to me. She gave me, the junior publicist. I went to this big guy, and you're like, "You have Lloyd." Like he gave me a dude.
But an Asian guy,
He's awesome. He's awesome.
they invented numbers, right?
He's great. Yeah.
We
So-
perfected it. They
So
invented it.
yeah, I just been working with this dude Matt. He's a great. He does films for like Lil Boosie.
Sick.
Me, we just did I have an entire film but about everything that's been happening, but really we started 2021, we did a big Hanukkah song. 2022, I remember I was going through a breakup, and I was like super emotional and shit, and the Kanye shit happened, and I was like, I couldn't like even bear like life in my skin, I was just like super emotional. Wrote the song, paid studio time, filmed the video, edited it out the next day, and like and it went so viral, like it gained hundreds of thousands, millions of streams.
You had that fire in your belly from the breakup, right? A lot of anger.
Yes.
And then
Yeah, and just,
compiled
like,
with an
with
attack
that
on your
con-
culture, right?
Yeah, and we even recorded at a place that was like, I know so many people that work with Kanye, that have worked or like recorded him, or multiple engineers that might have recorded him, mixed or mastered. People have wrote for him, and people have told me that he's like not dope. But like, of course, I'm nobody compared to Kanye, but I am like there's no one rapping against Kanye that deserves to do it except me.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? There's Lil Dicky. A lot of people just like they do the funny shit, you know, which is fine.
Yeah, they're trying to keep money in their pocket, right? A lot of people play the game. They're like, I'm not gonna even. That's not happening, right?
So, and I just did it, and then that went out, and it's like it very much touched the world of like.
Did it reach Kanye?
It definitely got to. I showed it to his documentarian Cootie, because he came out with that amazing doc, and I was like, Cootie, check this out, and he was like, I'm gonna send it to Kanye right now. So I'm sure he's seen it, whether he gives a fuck or not.
You getting in a rap war with Kanye would be sick.
It's amazing.
It would be incredible.
You can do it right now on Twitter. He's active. He's super bullish right now on answering.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I just hit him up on Twitter. He'll be like, go fuck yourself, and then like, whatever.
Start it up.
Then I did something called Time for a Conversation, where Macklemore did the stuff about like he made a song called Heinz Hall with his girl. Like it was like all the college students that were throwing up encampments.
Yep.
And then and I known him, so I did that. And then he also did something again, and Kanye just did something again. So I just did a song called Time for a Conversation 2, which is basically like I believe in chatting with people, especially when you know people. You should, especially when it comes to the topic of Israel and Judaism and anti-Semitism. Like I've been doing this shit since 2005. Like my first record was called Matzah for Your Mouth Records. Like it was all about being a tough Jew.
Right.
I just like came up off like Ill Bill and Necro, like these tough Jews. And like I was like watching Sopranos, I was selling drugs. I got sober in 2004. Right. I was coming out of jail for like third time. And then I'm like, all right, this is what I think is dope. And it shows some Jewish integrity and also like authentic to rap. And that's just like what I was inspired by. So when it came to doing Time for Conversation 1 and now another one, it's like I come from the era of not the internet. I come from the era of like seeing people and being like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And now the internet, it's just a lot of manipulated stuff. So that I'm releasing a lot of songs recently that are like shooting up at these people that are saying crazy shit. And if it comes to that topic, I expect people to hit me up, especially if we know each other. When they don't, it's like this. Because no one asked me how my family's doing, and like no one asked me how my friends are doing, and that's kind of like the world we live in. So that's why I like to make it, and I'm pretty sad that people don't post about Kanye because they imaginarily think that like he'll work with them someday or some shit. So it's like I don't want to get involved. Like Kanye's not gonna work with you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And do you really want to work with Kanye right now? Right, like
not right now. I think
like I have tons of photographs of Kanye and. To me growing up, I was like, that was one of the best concerts I've ever seen live. Right. The Flashing Lights tour.
I went to see Kanye live.
Yeah, and you're just like, it's disappointing, incredibly it's kind of like killing off a piece of your identity sometimes, right? Because when you're like, someone had such an impact musically, like I'm not even a musician. And it's like
the period.
But I'm really good at compartmentalizing my shit because then it's hard for me to then enjoy anything. But he's right. He's a like
my Kanye relationship. I saw him in college when I was at Rutgers. I remember Jesus Walks came out and ran to the stage. It was great. And then I saw him, trying to throw him a CDs when he played Brooklyn Hip Hop Fest. I played at Coachella in 2019. I was a guest appearance on my friend's set. And I do something called Mozzarella. That's what I got in Billboard from Nadine's funeral rap.
Really?
And yeah, I did Mozzarella because it was Passover, and it'll be Passover at Coachella. So all the Jews go to Coachella in LA, and they're not going to the Passover Seder. So I threw.
That's so cool.
It's ill. I like doing like weird, ill Jewish shit like that. Like
you help keep Jews looking cool.
Essentially, which is like an impossible task. You can't make religion cool. It's impossible. But there are cool Jews, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Mazzacella's dope because it's like a 10-minute Seder.
Yeah.
Shout out Rabbi Yona who helped me organize it. And we went, so because I played and I had the artist pass, I was able to walk up during Sunday service because Sunday service and Mazzacella was same year. So then I went to Sunday service. I'm like dancing with all the Kanye dancers, DMX, Kanye, everyone's there. And I'm like, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I'm right there. And that was when Kanye sold $1 million worth of the cool merch, right? Like of his. That was when that became kind of like everyone's like, "What's up with Kanye?" Sunday service, monetizing church. I did the video right. It was on everything. World Star. It was If
you saw Kanye right now in the street, would you just choke him out?
I would definitely run up on him and talk to him. People ask me if I would do a song with Kanye. They're like, "Well, you would still do it." It's a good question, right? But if I had a platform to say it on a song with Kanye, I would totally do it.
Yeah,
it would
because
be dumb
you
not to,
spread
because
your
then
message.
especially my verse ain't gonna get edited. Then I'll
Right.
definitely say whatever the fuck I'm gonna say.
That's what I say. I agree.
And he loves controversy so much that people will be like, "Well, that would be epic." He's like, because then people can't say. And listen, I've worked at ADL. I'm a Wild 'N Out, and that show was canceled for anti-Semitism. And I've worked with Jonathan, and I've worked with Nick Cannon.
Right.
And I've, and next week I'm playing a fucking show with Too Short.
Yeah, I
in
saw it.
Aspen.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's epic, and he just played All-Star Game. So and last night I rapped at a synagogue.
That's sick.
So it's sick.
Aspen's gonna be fire. It's gonna be a
Aspen's
good time.
great. Yeah, I gotta buy the flight. I'm so excited to leave and go skiing.
I just keep thinking about, like, if I had the chance to do a song with Kanye, what I even would say.
Oh.
But if you do a song, okay. But if you do a song with Kanye, I would have to be like, if I was in the room with him, my lyrics would be a lot different than if I could write them separately.
100%.
Like
that's why
if he
you're not
wasn't,
a rapper.
if I could submit
It's
my
like
lyrics,
doing a podcast with him or doing a podcast where we're going to talk about different stuff. It
yeah,
just
like
makes sense.
if he's in the room, I would probably, part of me, I'm not too much of a yes man. I'd be like, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Jews suck. Okay, good. Like, let me write up of that, right? But then at home, my lyrics would be, I'd be like, I'm going for the jugular. I'm gonna do.
You would be a horrible
You
rapper.
and him should redo. You and him
You
should
would not
redo.
make it as a rapper.
You and him should redo Guilty Conscience.
That's
Because
funny.
technically
Or I could
he's the fucked
yeah,
up guy.
I could
and you're
redo
like,
Jesus Walks with Moses Walks, and then I
Yeah.
could just dress up as Moses all around.
Jesus was a Jew. You should remind him that.
And then you guys can film it on the
Should be
Gaza
like,
Strip.
Jesus was a Jew.
We're outside Cat's Deli. Either way.
You guys can hug the block and have Dipset
Gotcha.
right behind you guys. That'll be fucking fire.
Oh my god! How did Dipset enter the comedy?
I don't even know. You know why? Because I just don't understand how he's with Jim Jones randomly recently. He was just like posted up with Jim Jones and all these Dipset guys, and I'm like,
Kanye?
yeah. I'm like, what is? I'm like, what?
Kanye suffers from. I think he suffers from a little bit of bipolar disorder.
Not a
or
little
definitely-
bit. I think a lot.
Okay, there we go.
Do you
I think a
believe in
lot.
the genius of an artist needs to be manic like that? Like you look at history of all the artists through time, they're
No,
crazy.
I'll tell you just in my own like scattered brain, like how I finish songs. Like I think I did the Kanye diss. I did it in like 3 hours. And we shoot the video, run and gun. We're like, all right, we're going into Brooklyn. We're like, I guess it was like a yeshiva week or some shit. So all the Jews came out of 770, like is where
Right.
like the rep, and they were like, what's going on? And I was like shooting a music video, like into fill in, like barring up, and people are like, the Jews have responded to Kanye, and it was amazing.
Dude, that's
This is the most-
great.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty amazing video, and anytime you post a video, it's just like, it's funny because it was so timely, and then like immediately after, it was like the Nation of Islam and the Black Israelites have responded, so it became this whole thing where people were like, we got to talk to Kosha Dillz. I think it's just interesting, the nature of beef like that, because it's really like keeps the cycle of media attention going, you know?
Right, and there's no other art form that has beef. Like you never hear like
There's no
fucking
beef
two
in
painters, right, being like painting this guy. Look, I painted him with a small dick. Yeah, see that? Yeah,
hilarious.
there's no other.
hilarious.
Brad Pitt's not fighting George Clooney in a parking lot.
That's why rap is so entertaining.
Well, because rap is
Because the biggest dog on the block is the winner.
and
You know
rap
what I mean?
is emotional, right? It comes from within you. Most acting is like go pretend to be,
That's
Great
why-
Gatsby.
But that's
yeah.
why real hip hop and rap was fun, because they used to get in the courtyard and everybody used to basically showcase who why they're cooler. And
That's what I started out doing. But back in the day, no one did shows. Like you couldn't get a show. Like it wasn't like now I'm doing my own concerts, it's touring,
Right.
it's comedy, it's rap, it's
Well, because your material spreads further now than you ever
Yeah.
used to, so you have a stronger audience that'll show up to these things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you ever converted a Nazi? Have you ever fucking made someone go, you know what?
Oh.
I am wrong.
No.
You can't.
No, because
Well,
it's
you
like
won't
trying to
know.
get an
Weird.
alcoholic sober. It's like you're like, yo, man, you don't get it.
Yeah.
You're like ruining your life, and the guy's like, you're gay.
Like my mom doesn't eat onions. My mom doesn't eat onions. There's no way on hell I'll ever get her to eat
Right,
onions, right?
right.
And it's like disproving someone's own identity is really hard.
People do not want to hear what you have to say.
It's like hating
and-
guys that get girls.
Yes,
I hate those
everyone's-
guys, though.
Exactly.
I love
That's
gay
why-
guys.
But you see, that's what
Oh,
people, guys
people
that
hate
don't know how
Jews
to make
'cause
money
Jews know how to-
they don't know how to make money or make certain things happen, and then they start pointing like, oh, how did you guys get here? How did you guys get there? How did you build this?
Oh.
And it becomes a problem.
Actually, I'm working on this one dude right now.
Oh shit. Pause.
Ooh.
So Dan Bilzerian, complete
moron,
saying the craziest shit.
What?
To get a
Bro,
lot
just
of
smoke
attention.
cigars and bang whores. When did you become a political dildo?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing on Twitter. Randomly, it's just popped up on my Twitter. I'm like, what
due to Kanye West, who's kind of set it off, people realize that if you say things about Jews, you will get a lot of attention.
It's the MAGA hat.
Not good attention.
It's wearing something that gets you attention.
That's actual PR
People
that
want
you
it.
don't
People
want.
You understand that.
Yeah, it's marketing. People are like, if I say something about Christians, nothing happens. But if I say these 3 words, I will at least get 1,000 replies, and my life has meaning.
Yes. Let's talk about Gaza and Sudan. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a real genocide happening in Sudan, right? It's been going on since Darfur, and there's Muslims killing Christians, but they're black. Now, put Jews versus Muslims. There's not a genocide happening when population increases. Like, the Jews are still recovering from the Holocaust. There's still less Jews than back then, right? That's a real genocide. There's a genocide in Congo. But if you hashtag Free Sudan versus Free Gaza, Free Sudan has like 500 hashtags.
People don't even
Right?
know where
People
Sudan
don't
is.
care. Exactly.
People
That's
think
the
you
first
misspelled
line.
Sedan.
I thought that's a restaurant.
So
Like, Free Sedans?
it's not out back.
Where? Oprah's
But
giving away?
You find some similarity with someone. So I found this guy on Dan Bilzerian, started to jump back to Dan Bilzerian. He was like, but he ain't wrong. You know, it's one of those cool, it's like a good way of saying like, oh, I agree with you, or saying, but like,
He's just
you're
talking
like-
the truth.
but he's not telling, he's off, or right, we're saying facts. Remember when
Show
facts
me
came
the
out?
lie.
Facts. Show me the lie. Yeah, show me where he lies. Yeah, show me the lie. So I looked on his page. Dude's built like a brick shit house. Like, he's fucking massive. He's like, you know, no second place trophies. Seems like a cool guy. My brother Zach's in strength training. He's like, my brother like wrote an encyclopedia about strength training. We named our dog Arnold after Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he's and
Tough
shout out,
Jews.
Arnold loves the Jews. He actually is a really good advocate for us. But because my brother knows him, and I have Steelers, and I wrestled D1 at Rutgers and all this shit, so I built some rapport with him. And I'm soon going to message him, hey, by the way, I wanted to talk to you about something. And I have more followers than him. Like, there's like, you know, 'cause he wants attention, right? I already and so I'm slowly working on that to message. It's very mentally exhausting because I'm going to have to confront him on a DM and be like, yo, by the way, I want to talk to you about this thing and explain to you what you're talking about if you got it for a second. And
Right.
since we've already been chopping it up, he'll be like, yeah. But in the moment when you comment and you feel that urge to comment on this sort of combative thing, that's what this shit. If you wanna, you play it.
Yo, play it.
Can you put it up?
You should next time do the con as KAN.
Yes. Pickles. Boy. That's my Moses suit. When Kanye said George Floyd. So. Head rabbi from the synagogue of Satan. That's like my comment section, normal. You ever hear the blame thrower?
No.
What's the blame thrower?
It's when people just point fingers. And, yeah. Like, oh, you did this. That's what he does. So, yeah, this is the joint. It's fucking a bot. Plus, a lot
Same
of
day? Filmed this all pretty much 24 hours?
Yeah, and flip the video edited.
Bro, nuts.
That's our shit. That's our specialty. Reactionary rap videos.
This is fire.
Thanks.
It sucks this is not popular though anymore. Like, meaning like in the pop culture. That this was more like, this has a lot more depth in it and has a lot more like meat. People rather listen to.
Could you show him the time for a conversation too? I want to just.
Yeah, give me one second.
People rather listen to ooh. We went to the like that. This should be popping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this is heavy, right? That's the problem. A lot of people in today's society want to escape with like bubblegum.
Two.
Like I love 5 Year Foreign, but he said he has like a song. His lyric is pooping, shitting.
I just did this because Macklemore made some shit, and then the Kanye shit.
Macklemore is shot. Honestly,
I don't.
He's
He
fired
just.
out.
Yeah. I don't.
I liked them until he unfollowed me. That's how I judge my
But-
people.
This is us all the lyrics and shit. It's great.
I already know what the plan is. They watch it from all angles. I can tell you who the plan is. A man on stage, show you colors of the flag. Hit everyone says they a fan, but don't know where Sudan is. Pointing out
That's fire.
Mr. Punch Nazi, aka the person who never gonna punch anybody. Educated in what I know, and it ain't all that. A real genocide, not recognized, cause they all black. Someone had to say it. Al Jazeera ain't gonna say it. You ain't gonna explain it. You watching, yeah, you still complaining. Intersectionality, need me to get my speak on. This oil money and terror worse than Diddy and a free gall. I ain't got
Beat is fire.
Thanks.
lean on to speak about Kanye. You want a song about Elon? Look, bro, it's obvious. It's common sense. Anyone who speak about Elon never spoke about the hostages. Stop sucking Hamas's dick.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great shirt you should make. Stop sucking Hamas's dick.
That could be our collab.
Let's go.
That's a fire T-shirt.
3 hostages come out, lost 30% of their weight. You post about the Holocaust, I'll sit and just wait. If you care about Israel publicly, you're killed at the stake.
This shit's fire. You know what would be fire to attract the normies to listen to this shit? Is to
No,
get-
my
is
girlfriend
to
would
get
never be
is
able to-
get a hook.
Yeah.
Just a dumb hook for these idiots to like be like, oh shit, that's a fire hook, and then they listen to the rest of the actual.
Yeah.
Listen. If you put a good hook on it and they go, oh, I can dance to this, oh, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy that the
I got so much shit. So like every day I just like posting shit. It's
shit's
just
fire,
crazy.
oh, I love rattling cages.
I know. I see. I did the con thing here. Right. Exactly what you said. That's a great idea.
Like Death Con, KAN, and then what is this?
Death Con.
What's
This
this
is
one?
Don't con me now. Oh, it's called
Yeah,
Time
so
for a
there's-
Conversation.
So you have a little con in every.
Can't respond without a consequence.
Oh, can't
You
respond
should do
without
it. Let's see.
consequences.
Consequences.
You should
Yeah,
do.
consequence wrote all his
You
shit.
should do a mixtape called "Save Jews or Die Trying" and you just use all of 50 cents,
Yeah.
50 cents like instrumentals and just fucking
Wow.
make
50 will probably post about it.
You know,
Save Jews or die trying.
And 50
Yeah,
would
yeah.
definitely post.
You should do "Save Jews or Die Trying," but do like a insane bars to that and the hooks to all his instrumentals.
50s?
Like most of 50 songs.
I'll do that.
Like "Power the Dollar," like all
Oh,
that
like
shit,
a
you know what
remix
I mean?
album? Like you take
Yeah.
his beats, but you
Exactly.
do the whole
Correct.
album with
Save
your
Jews
shit.
or die
Correct.
trying. That's
Ooh.
great.
And people will bump that shit in the gym like it would be crazy.
I have the same album art.
It will be tough.
Is that the one where he had
Oh,
the,
he's fucking
Yeah.
bulletproof?
like-
the
Yeah, and he has
glass?
the back, and he's holding the baby, and he has that
Yeah.
50 tattoo.
Oh, and hold the fucking babies of Israel and shit.
That should be tough.
Crazy. as
That would be
fuck.
tough.
Wow, that's crazy.
Remember, like when Dad Piff
You guys
was
work
around?
together on everything?
We just bounce bad ideas back and forth all day.
yeah.
Nah, he's
Bueller, document it. No, yeah.
I just go one where I'm like, do it in blackface. Call yourself 25 cents.
Oh my God.
Save Jews or Die Trying would be a stupid fire mixtape.
Save
for him.
Jews or die trying is
And you do a
basically-
cover, and you
that's-
do a cover like that. Like
Well, one of my albums, What I Do All Day in Pickle, charted on Billboard, and it was basically Velvet Underground and Nico. So they did the banana, and I did the pickle, same way, and it was catchy because it was like the pickle. But Save Jews or Die Trying is
Such a great.
iconic, bro.
Bro, that's
That-
like
you get a lot
Oscar
of
Schindler's
props.
up there doing that.
if you do that one, and you do some fucking because you gotta understand, people are fucking stupid. Meaning that you do something like something entertaining, and then you also do something catchy while spreading the message. You win all three pillars.
Yeah,
Because then people
right.
blast the shit in the car, and it has a message.
Right, and you get to lean on, like, dude, the best-selling things that we make in merch are logo flips, right? It's great when you have an
Oh, yeah.
original idea.
I
An
have-
original idea does well. Assholes Live Forever didn't exist before, it popped off. But when I do the Assholes Live Forever logo in a flip of a recognizable logo, it
Yeah.
takes off.
I
So
have
you're
a-
basically borrowing a little bit from 50 for the recognizability.
50 shekels.
50 shekels.
shekels.
50 shekels.
There
Oh
was
my
another.
God.
There was another guy. Actually,
49.99 shekels.
50 Shekel was a rapper actually earlier on. I think he committed suicide sadly, but he was also like a Jew. He converted to Christianity, but he was kind of a popular thing in like the early 2000s.
50 shekels.
I want a verse on one of the songs though.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah,
I have
yeah.
a song out too, and I always will dream to be a rapper. So I can't freestyle like you, but I have a little something, and I would
Well,
throw
you're not
a
a
verse.
Jew, so you could play like the
Yo,
Aryan
so
part of the
I,
song.
Hey, Aryan.
So
I'm
well,
Jewish on weekdays.
So funny enough, during the beginning of the Ukraine war, there was like this renegade group that was like supposedly like Ukrainian Nazis like fighting, and then they like drenched their like bullets in like pig fat or some shit like that. There's a lot of interesting bad things that happened by the Ukrainians, like to the Jews, but.
That's such a
There's a lot
weird
of
diss.
Nazis
That's such a
in-
weird
in,
diss to be like,
in-
well,
in
dip this in
Ukraine, for
pig
sure.
fat because
Well,
they
like,
hate
Nazi-
bacon. You're
Nazi,
like, I hate dying.
basically just racist things. I believe the neo-Nazi is not a Nazi. It's a new form of like of something else.
They
that
hide
is-
in basements and they hang out, drink beer together. It's kind of one
This
of
is
those.
another, yeah. There's
It's
a
like
lot
a
of white
Telegram
people.
chat.
yeah,
It's a Telegram chat in real life. But anyways, I wanted to say,
It's a Discord.
I rapped with a lot of Ukrainian acts. There's like Alyona. Alyona was probably the best Ukrainian rapper. I didn't. She's like one of my favorite rappers. I'm trying to collab with.
Val
So,
has a friend who's a Ukrainian rapper, but he can't make it anywhere in the business because he says the N-word.
Oh,
and he's a
well,
white
that's
guy. And,
Nah,
and
nah.
he's hilarious.
There's a group
Yeah.
called
He's
Kalush.
hilarious.
He's
There's-
hysterical though.
There's a group called Kalush Orchestra. They won the Eurovision, and I played a show with them in 2023 at South by Southwest. And Forbes, like covered the show, and it was pretty dope. But I haven't been back to South by since the Israel war started.
What's
you
your
know?
What's your favorite, funniest Jewish stereotype that you
My
think
favorite?
that you find hilarious, and then you're like,
Yeah.
that's us.
I think like Ashkenazi food like has like no flavor.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's not. I mean, that's not really necessarily true. Like my mom makes amazing like cooking, but my mom is like Israeli Ashkenazi is different than like American like Cholent
course,
Ashkenazi. I would say that there's Jewish Standard Time. That's a nice one. I mean, Jews with money. I posted something the other day. I posted, oh, that guy. I didn't know that he was part of the dance crew. The dude Zool that joined the Kendrick Lamar and did the whole flag thing. I'm like, if there's someone who ran out. I was like, Jews would never do that. I'm not paying $5,500 a ticket and leaving at halftime. And people were like, some woman's like, way to fucking give in to the Jewish stereotypes and get us killed. And I'm like, listen, bitch. I'm like, it's fine.
So what do you think about your Jewish fella having beef with Kendrick?
Oh, I'm Team Drake.
My dog. That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm not. I don't.
Let's go.
First.
I don't have an opinion enough.
I just don't listen to Kendrick, so for me, instantly you're like,
I know. I
all
think
right.
Kendrick's great, but I am Team Drake. I'm going to Toronto. I'm like
Drake has shown me more love
it's-
than Kendrick, so I'm Team Drake then.
So
I just don't listen to Kendrick. I think I respect his art.
but
but I don't.
Kendrick's amazing.
Yeah,
I
but
remember being at the BET Awards 2012. I was in the BET cipher. I'm sitting in the front row, and Kendrick comes out and plays "Swimming Pool," drank, horse up, drank, swimming. I don't know. You remember that song?
Yeah, yeah.
Swimming Pool,
Sure.
drank,
Right.
Swimming pool. I'm like, why is this guy performing about swimming pools? In my mind,
They can't
But
swim.
I'm sure plenty of people are like, why is this guy rapping about menorahs? I don't know. I mean, people probably think the same thing about me. But I remember it, and then I was standing next to him, and Rakim won an award. Wow. And it was just like everyone was there, right? Because I was in the rap cipher with RZA and like Old Dirty Bastard's son, Young Dirty Bastard.
Wild.
Shout out YDB. And the craziest shit was I was just like, why is Kendrick's like, this is like the big song and like that he's performing, but that was a song that like he
That's the
was.
problem
And
with him.
he
He's
just-
too much of a poet, right? And not enough of a mainstream
But
act.
I mean, that song was also like not suitable. Like what he's doing now is dope, and I think it's amazing. Like the Super Bowl commercial, etc. And I mean, where he's come from, I've totally changed in 12 years as well. As everyone should change.
I don't think the Super Bowl show
But
was great.
Drake.
I thought it
no.
was bad.
I thought it was bad
Personal.
from a performance standpoint. You're like, I'm there to be. You're entertaining America.
From a controversy standpoint, it was great because he did a great show. Obviously,
He had a
that
good
was
big
amazing.
message, which was
He has
cool.
a big message, but
But-
also he like didn't have like a band or anything like that, so people are gonna complain about that. But everyone just kept talking about it, and it was the most viewed. So like he did good enough.
We also have the
to
most
make it
TVs we've
great.
ever had available to everybody.
there's people in
So,
caves watching
Let's
the
talk
Super
about
Bowl.
it if Michael Jackson had all the accessibility we have with phones
Bro,
and TVs.
I didn't know.
It would be.
I knew one
impossible
song.
to
I
surpass.
recognized the one or two songs of Kendrick's show, and that's nothing against his art. But like, if you're gonna sell out and play at the Super Bowl, like
Lil
you
Wayne
gotta,
should've played.
you should put on a
Wayne should've
sellout act,
played.
an act that my
But
parents
he
know the
didn't.
music.
Wayne, yeah, and Wayne should have played, bro.
But
Wayne,
just like Too Short and the whole Bay Area played for the All-Star game. They brought the whole.
They should have done everybody.
The Super
from-
Bowl's just like it is. It is what it is. But
Jay-Z's tone deaf. Isn't that his? He puts on the show. He's a creative director for Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
It's Jay-Z and Apple Music Presents.
I'll check his real
Jay-Z
title,
is the
yeah.
one in charge of
Yeah.
picking the talent. That's why they originally weren't going to have 50 Cent at some point, remember? And then they let him come.
well, Dre brought him in.
Yeah. That Jay-Z's in charge of picking the
It would have
artists.
been amazing if Kendrick brought Drake out.
They would have never.
That would have been awesome because he did that.
Would have been
Eminem
a
and Drake
great
did that
message
once.
for the world. Yeah.
When
yeah.
Eminem and Drake were beefing once, and then Eminem came out at Drake's show in Detroit and was like, "Yo, this is my guy," blah blah blah, and everyone was like, "Whoa, what a cool moment to be like, fuck it." Like,
Maybe they'll do it in Toronto because Kendrick's playing like 2 massive shows in Toronto.
no, I feel like there's too much said already. Kendrick can't look like a pussy. He can't hug anyone. Kendrick can't look like a hugger.
Did you see how tight his pants were?
They hugged him.
Those are like bell bottoms. Those are the gayest things I've ever
Those
seen.
shits hugged him.
Yeah,
Those
it
shits
was-
hugged him nice.
I was like, oh
Who
my
paid him to
gosh.
wear those? You can't insult Drake and then wear bell bottoms.
No,
like my
no.
girlfriend's pants.
I also thought that like his pants were dragging a little bit, and they weren't.
He was
you
doing
know.
a dance I do
sagging.
out of a shower when I'm rapping along to my music that's playing on the fucking
Yeah,
speaker
yeah.
fucking in the living room.
Yeah, he was doing the little like boom, boom. That was like the dance choreography.
The message
thing.
was dope. Listen, don't get me twisted. The message was cool.
I don't even know what was the message.
He was basically saying that America's still racist, and he's bringing Uncle Sam as Samuel Jackson, and he did all these things. What is it? Serena Williams, right? Her name is.
Yeah, doing the crip walk because
She
Drake.
she dated Drake. Like, yo, first of all, you
Serena-
have a husband at home.
I know,
Second
but
of
like,
all,
but the
you're-
problem is, like, do it somewhere
Serena's
else.
sister was
I
killed, by
Crips,
Crip.
and she's crip walking.
Yeah, but do it somewhere else. We're watching. I don't know enough of the hidden details of your fight, right? This shouldn't be you airing your laundry. Go put on a show that I can fucking be like, oh my God, what a great Super Bowl
But they
performance.
did it because of the culture of hip
I
hop.
get
You
it, I
don't
get it,
listen
I
to
get
it. You're more there for the entertainment aspect.
I
They're
get it.
doing it because
I'm too
it's
white
like,
for the NFL now.
you know.
The best part of it was like that. Like I was on a Facebook page and there was someone was talking. You know how like they suggest you like these random rap pages will be like a comment about the Super Bowl, and one woman goes, "Hey guys, sorry, I'm just 50-some-year-old woman or 60-some-year-old woman from Canada. Don't mind me, but could anyone explain to me what dis is?" Like D-I-S-S. He didn't know what. Oh, and everyone starts. It's when two rappers go back and forth at each other, and she's like, "Oh, thanks everyone." You know, it's kind of
Woman's
Kendrick
discovering.
has broken into a certain pop culture with like lyrics that's totally different than Drake, and then Drake sort of trolls in a different way where he releases like a girl's album with Party Next Door and it pops off more than
Yeah, but
Kendrick's.
Kendrick has the viewer that pretends to be sympathetic about everything.
Or
That's
intelligent,
his viewer.
or intelligent.
Or intelligent. He tries to basically the people that think they have so much depth. They're like, you don't understand.
Well,
You know?
I looked into the protester who wasn't a guy from the crowd. He was actually a hired dancer, and the dude is doing his thing, and he's like sort of I said I got on the phone with him because I tagged him in that song. At the end, it says time for conversation. Tell my brother Zul, let's say assalamu alaikum. We could probably learn from each other. Time for a conversation, and that's how I ended the first Macklemore diss when he came out with Heinz Saul, and I was like, that got my end maybe got 1 million across socials. His got 150 million. It's like another level, right? So when I talked to I tagged the dude Zul, he hit me up. He hit me up on
Really?
The dancer?
on Instagram.
The guy who
sent me.
pulled
He's
out
like,
the flag?
yeah, he said, call me. So I just called him. I'm like, wow, this is like, wow, like, what do we do now, right? This is like the whole thing about imagine if Drake and Kendrick
Right.
got him. Yeah,
That's
he
cool.
hit me. So right when someone says hit me, I already know their age is probably most likely above 40.
Yeah, 'cause
they're
they
used
wanna talk.
Yeah, they actually have had conflict before in their life or conversations. Like back in the day, you're like, okay, just hit me and let's talk about it, right? And that's what the whole thing is about. Let's have a conversation. And I talked to him and I'm like, okay, he's a Muslim guy, not essentially like a Middle Eastern Muslim Arab. He's a Muslim dude from New Orleans, and he does a lot of work in gang infested areas trying to get people out using Islam to like really the peaceful aspects of it to help people, to help the community. And I'm like, oh man, you got Muslims from New Orleans a little bit different. He's like, yeah. He's like, best believe it. Like he had this New Orleans twang.
like
And I had
titties.
just gone there for Wild 'N Out, and like just hearing the accents of New Orleans, the way people speak,
Right.
I'm like, whoa, this is really what New Orleans is. And talking to him, I'm like, let's have a conversation. And I offered, it's like, just like going back to the Dan Bilzerian guy, if you warm up to somebody and treat them respectfully in a conversation instead of being like, in the comment
actually
section, you can
progress.
actually talk to somebody. And he lifted up the flags, and what we did like about it is that he had the Sudan flag, because it does the aspect. Why is everyone raising money and don't know where the money's going in Gaza, and nothing's getting to Sudan, but no one covers Sudan because it's all black. It's not like white versus black or brown white.
It's not a fun hashtag.
It's not a fun hashtag. Free Sudan.
A Muslim in New Orleans, though, that's got to be hard.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, you're like, that's a very deviant town. Booze, titties. Yeah, things they can't really. It's a lot of, what is it called?
Islam
Haram?
and
Halal?
haram. A lot of haram going on.
Halal's the good stuff.
A lot of haram.
Yeah, it's not halal.
Halal's the good stuff. Halal's the good stuff. Haram's the bad stuff.
Yeah, it'd be like Christianity and Islam in Las Vegas. Sin City.
Just being like a.
Take it to Atlantic City, probably a little bit different. But I talked to the guy in all fun, and I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna pick up the phone because he's just an OG. That's something. He's like, I ain't got time to listen to all the bullshit on the internet. Just call me. And he was, trying to capitalize on all this stuff, and I'm learning a little bit about him. I'm like, okay, guy has good intentions. That's what he did,
Right.
And I rapped with religious garb outside the most religious place in Crown Heights, and people were really, really, really mad at me.
Yeah,
for
people
doing
misinterpreted you, I'm sure.
And people are going to be mad at me when I do the Holocaust film, but guess what? Somebody won an Oscar for doing literally the same concept. So it's like,
it is what it is.
That's the beauty of art. Is like you have to take the risks, and you don't know what the art is gonna.
Yeah, you'll be fine if you lose or win.
Dude, you're not. No one's the cancel concept is there, but it's not. Like you really have to be outlandish to get truly canceled. Like as long as you can create your own art and craft and find money for it, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Which he has.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, I'm rich.
You're a Jew.
Yeah.
I mean,
what other stereotypes? I take
what
all
else?
my money from the state of Israel, ADL.
I don't like. You know what
Jew
stereotype? I don't like that we control the weather because no one complains more about the weather than us. Right? Like the fact that they're like, you guys control the weather. I'm like, do you understand? We're always uncomfortable. If we control the weather, it'd be nice.
Yeah,
it would be Florida all the time.
Yeah, that is.
That's a weird one.
It's controlling the weather.
The Jewish stereotype that you said that's your favorite. I was gonna answer that. Mine is the fact that we complain.
Oh,
I love that you can show up to the Holocaust. My mom would still show up there and be like, meh, meh, and she'd find a reason to bitch.
Yes, yeah.
That is,
and that's sort of it. We're very nebbishy and we could complain, but I've learned how to get out of that mentality. Just all the gratitude. shit.
Colin Quinn, the comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He says the Jews' gift to the world of New York is our ability to speak in catastrophic terms. Like Jews gave language color. They're like, how is traffic? Murder. How are you hungry? I'm starving. Like Jews talk in extremes that create colorful language.
That's amazing.
And I was like, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I told the story the other day. My mom hit me up. She's like, I watched your video on YouTube. It got like 100 views. It was great. And and it was like every day I give $1 a day. And that's it though. I don't want to give more than $1 a day. So
to anyone?
Yeah, that's it. Like I'm not gonna give 4 times one day. And then, so a guy comes up to me in Dunkin' Donuts and he's like, hey, can I get 40 cents? Trying to and he's trying to hustle to get his fix. And I'm like, hey man, here's a lucky day. I got $1. I give out $1 a day, and you're the guy to get it. He's like, oh, he was really stoked, right? And he was like, oh my God, thanks. I'm really trying to get a couple more dollars. So I told him, I was like treating him like a human a little bit because I'm like, oh, what's your problem? I'm sober 20 years. I'm like, I was incarcerated, drug use, selling drugs, that whole story. And he goes, it was the first time he felt like he was talked to normally all day, And I think Jews, we like this thing of we're very giving people. Like we're supposed to give out 10% of our tzedakah. It's called tzedakah. They have these little boxes. You go to.
Do they really write down 10%? Man, Jews are so good. Like we give 10%.
We give 10%.
10% discount.
That's it.
No, you're not getting wholesale.
Yeah,
you're getting 10%.
You're gonna get 10% charity. So if I make 1,000, I'm supposed to give 100. But I don't even necessarily do that because I give a lot of my time away.
Yeah,
1%. More of 1%.
It's inflation.
Great.
Do you see the economy? $10.
But the normal
you see,
people
negotiation
don't give,
starand we didn't even. I didn't even know what we're negotiating.
Creators, they're not giving a shit anyway. But I think like when I have a bad day, this is I'm like being giving is like. That's my favorite stereotype that Jews are giving.
Yeah, buy your way into heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I'm a bad Jew, right? I'm like, oh my God, I ate bacon. I did this.
Yo, true story, Modest Yahoo. You know the Modest Yahoo,
I love Modest Yahoo.
Modest Yahoo, the first time I met him, he was super, 2004. I was like on probation for like a couple, I just got sober, just got out of rehab, and he's like, hey, I just wanted to rap, right? I think I went to his house. He like beatboxed for me. Like we like studied a little bit, and he goes, if you do something like a bad Jew, like eat like bacon cheeseburger, you take the energy from the bacon cheeseburger and you go across the street and you give a homeless guy $5, and you sort of balance it out. And I do bad stuff all day
pretty
too.
much
Or
what
Every Jew's a lawyer.
That's pretty much
every
what Rosh
Jew's a
Hashanah is.
lawyer.
like I'm
They're
gonna figure it out. How
They're
to
like,
get
listen, if you do it, just do something nice, and you're like, I'm cool with that.
Should we do a rap for the podcast and close it out?
Yeah.
Let's close it
Oh,
out.
we got 3
like,
minutes
we
before
got
he's
3
got to
minutes,
run.
yeah.
What are we rapping about here? Fringe podcast, or we're rapping about?
The name of this podcast is Ugly on the Inside.
Let's do
because
a
we're
rap
all
about
supposed
Bang.
to show
Bad
how
on the
ugly we're
inside?
ugly on the inside. We're ugly. We're all Val. I'm ugly on the outside, but the podcast is Ugly on the Inside.
Ugly on the Inside podcast, and we also
have a small
part-
penis.
We have a partnership with Alf Bang, which is
the Bang energy
yeah.
drinks.
No, Bang.
So
Alf
this
Bang.
is guys.
Okay.
So check this out real quick before we close this out. Unless you want to throw that in there in your rap. Bang.com is a porn site. There's Jewish girls on there too. Bang, and I'm probably owned by Jews, right? Most porn is. Bang.com, best porn site on the internet. Use promo code ALFBANG, Alf Bang. You get a 2-day free trial.
Okay.
It's like 10%.
It's kind of
like 10% of the month.
So look,
10% of the
yeah,
money,
and you're
yeah.
giving a good. You're doing it's good karma over here.
Yeah.
It's a mazal, but you do.
If
So
you
look,
like
we got
titties.
Bang, we got Ugly on the Inside, we got Kirill Small Penis, and I'll give you Val. What can we do about Val?
Don't worry, I figure it out. Okay.
He's
Yeah.
pretty and
Here's
kind of
Val,
gay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you got to give me the beat again.
Okay.
No,
Ready?
give him the beat.
You have a pen?
Oh, Val's gonna add a little fucking hi-hat to this.
Hey,
All right. Let me do this.
you could
Oh,
talk
whoa,
about.
right here, Val. You can hit this thing and get a little.
No. That's my brother. What do you think I am?
Here we go.
Fucking Ed,
Here we
Ed
go.
Sheeran over here, bro.
Here we go. You got to be his yeah. Hey,
I'll be
yo, ugly on the inside, outside your face. When I freestyle, lunch table's great. You know I deliver the news. I'm killing the truth. Shout out to the old bullies. I be eating the food. I'm on the Fringe podcast. Yeah, the truth hurts. Dillz on the microphone. Hello, anybody? Bueller, ex-girlfriend. I'ma move her out the apartment building. Everybody look at me like I need some children. Getting crazy with it. Turning 80 with it. Joanna Angel making babies with it. Dillz. You know the flow kicking my style. I'm a Kirill first, Kilmer like Val. Dillz on the microphone. You know I hold the style. Never the better, never the lesser. Got money in the dresser. My cash flow like an asshole. Guess what? I'ma live forever. So I got it out of the ordinary. I rock door to door when I was selling all the cemetery plots. Dillz on the microphone, spitting my bars. Yeah, got no water up in the jar. Anyways, shout out to all the hot moms. 10% off monthly. Bang.com. Dillz on the microphone, ready to pop off. Everybody else, your shit is a knockoff. Ugly on the outside forever. Mazel tov. Hey.
Dude, that was fucking dope.
You're a beast.
I was so
That
sweaty.
was fun.
More sweat.
It started
I'm like,
sweating on
oh
the
my
inside.
God, what's the next word? Now, if you can plug everything you're working on.
I'll just give you all the things I talked about. So KoshaDillzWorld.com. I'm on tour. I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm doing a Canadian tour.
It's like 2 weeks.
Okay. The tour will be over. But
Wow, that was a great tour, man.
Yeah, it was a
Fucking
great tour.
crushed it.
Yes. KoshaDillzWorld.com is a website. You can hit me up there too. KOSHADILLZ on all socials. Kosha Dillz merch too on the website. You can check that out. And the new song is Time for a Conversation 2. You can check out Time for a Conversation 1. You can check out DEFCON 3 and the Spotify, all that stuff. And I would say if there's anything else that, Not Everything Has to Be So Serious is the name of the short film.
I thought you were actually just saying that to
It's
us.
the
I was
name
like,
of
I
the
like
short
that.
Holocaust film that I'm doing and have done. And I have Bring the Family Home is my documentary. It's a 1 hour long doc on becoming popular during a war. And it's really exciting. That's what's going to be coming out in the spring with an album for Bring the Family
Oh, yeah,
Home.
dude.
So, yeah, man.
Fire.
Thanks for having me, dude.
No,
I really
please.
appreciate it.
I want to come through to your shows
You're the
and
man.
like
We
I
gotta-
moved back
we
to New York. I want to.
We gotta hit
I
something.
want to get in touch with my Jewness a little more.
Listen, bro.
I'm not a good activist though.
I'm down to do a little.
But
freestyle.
I'm all about supporting.
I'm gonna write something.
I'm just-
we can do a little something together.
Well,
What, you're gonna write something? Get Save Jews or Die Trying?
Save Jews or Die Trying is by far.
That needs to happen.
That needs
just
to
a
happen.
mixtape.
It's also a fire stand-up
50
piece, too.
shekels?
If you
Oh
do
my
like
God.
a fire like stand-up comedy special.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Save
Dude,
Choose or
you're the
Die
man.
Trying. That's great, man. Thanks for having me.
Very
Shabbat.
rarely you meet people with like actual like they know what where they fall and they know the line that they it's cool.
It's cool.
Thanks,
It's cool
dude.
that you have like actual conviction because most people, and I'm guilty of it, I'm
I feel
very
like I'm getting up and then I'm not getting
yeah,
up.
like, I'm
to-
very mamby-pamby about a lot of
From
things.
convictions to new convictions, you know?
Yeah.